I'm Sam.
And I'm Charles.
And we are the Disc Golf Travelers.
And today we're doing a What's in the Bag episode.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Well, what's the bag? What do you carry?
Well, I carry a Dynamic Sniper. And this actually, maybe a little bit, no, definitely. It's a hand-me-down from him.
That I bought used from a friend. Hi, Sean.
But what I love about this bag, and I absolutely, I love the mini pocket on the side, where you can just slide your little mini in, and I also have, oh look, there's the Dynamic Disc water bottle in the pocket still. But yeah, I absolutely love this bag. It's awesome.
I carry the Paratrooper in the Swedish flag that, again, I got from my buddy Sean, who traded a Squatch bag, I think, for it from a fellow who got this at the Music City Open a few years ago.
So we're recycling.
Always, always, always. So first we're going to talk about our putters and what we bag, and I'm going to go first because it's a 2-for-1. Judges. More specifically, 176 gram burst. I carry two because I really like this one. I don't know what it is about the difference. It feels a little bit more smooth in my hand than this one. The problem being I am red-green colorblind, so when we're a little bit further out, we throw the one we can definitely see when we get up there.
And also you throw that one in the fall.
Yeah, when I can't see. This one gets thrown a lot this time of year.
Yeah, for sure. So I have, first of all, this is one of my favorites. This is a pink, as you can see it's pink, but it's a Tactic, and the only reason I say a pink Tactic is because this is actually my second one. My first one was white, and I lost it in a round that we played in the snow last
some people might say don't throw a white disc in the snow.
Don't throw the white disc in the snow is the word to the wise. But I did get to replace it with this pretty pink one, and I absolutely love it. It's a great approach disc. I don't putt with it a lot, but I do like short approaches with it.
My next disc is my complement to my judge. Where my judge turns left, my Swan turns right. I have recently acquired some Swan Reborns, but those are all orange, so I couldn't use them this time of year as I left the blue one sitting somewhere. I'll have to hit up Bang-A-Chain in Lexington for some more. They have an insane stock of discs that you didn't even know you were looking for.
And he's been trying to sell that Swan to me for ages. He keeps going, like, you need to throw a Swan. You need a bag of Swan, but I haven't picked up on it yet. This next one for me is going to be my Luna. This is my trusty putt disc. I've been putting with this for more than 2 years at this point, I think.
Yeah.
He bought it for himself and then...
Hated it.
Didn't like it. He didn't like it, and I did. We also have a dog named Luna, so I thought that was cute that I'd be like, oh yeah, I have the Luna. But
I want to throw it. Disc, not the dog.
I absolutely love this as a putter, but there is one drawback to it, and I'll go into that in a second.
So my next one is a specifically stamped from the Brandenburg Championships 2021. It is an Innova XT Bullfrog. I can throw this thing as hard as I want, and it is going to do nothing but dead straight.
That's the Bullfrog?
That's the Bullfrog.
Oh, I thought it looked different.
Nope, that is it.
Okay. The last putter that I want to talk about actually is, it's a soft magnet. It's from Discraft. It's a putt and approach. A friend of mine was telling me about this disc, and I was really curious because I was talking to him about the Binks and the Koi putter, which I don't have yet, but I'm hoping to get. Anyway, my friend was telling me about this and just saying that it's very similar. It's really soft, a lot like the Binks and the Koi. And what I was saying about the Luna and the drawback to the Luna is it is a heavy disc, and so I can't putt from distance putting with the Luna just because I physically don't have the strength to my arm, but that's where the magnet's coming in, and I'm really learning how to get some better distance putts in because this is so much lighter. I couldn't even tell you how much this one weighs, but I can tell you that it is significantly lighter than the Luna, and you can tell just by holding it in your hand.
You need
So
to get
the magnet.
You need to get you trying. I have a PA2 and the 500 lightweight plastic over there. It's a disc that it has a little bit of weight, so it'll hold the angle you throw, but it feels incredibly light in your hand, and you can get it to glide really well. The last putter in my bag is the 2022 DGPT champion Ricky Wysocki Raptor Eye Saki Bomb Slammer. You see that pretty glare there? That's a gold foil stamp. I should stop throwing it. I really should.
You're beating it up.
I'm beating it up, but man, I love the way it flies, and it looks so pretty when it twirls. I mean, look at that. It's just such a pretty disc. That's going to round out our putters. We're going to get into our mid-ranges next. I'm going to go from stable to understable.
Oh, you didn't tell me we were doing
Well, mine, I only carry 3 mid-ranges, an overstable, a stable-ish that I beat in, and then an understable. My overstable is a Prime Burst EMAC Truth 176 gram. It's money. 175, 200 feet on a straight line, turn left 20 at the end. That's what I use it for.
Yeah, similarly, well, it's a very similar build to the disc as my Bard. I use it for my approach, my mid-range. Like you said, it goes out and it turns to the left really hard, and you always can count on it. You know what it's going to do. I love my Bard.
Next one is another Truth. It is the Lucid Truth. Again, very slow mid-range. It's a 5-speed. Stable, but I've beat it into enough trees now that I can snap it to pretty much keep its line out to 200, 225, and just the softest left. The only downside I have with this is it likes to skip and get away from me from time to time.
I just realized I had that filed with my mid-range, and it's not.
Well then.
So, but I am going to go to the next one, which is my Shark, which is definitely a mid-range. I'll be honest, I forget about this being in my bag a lot because the original one that I had, and I don't know what happened to it, was purple. And so when I'm looking for my Shark, I'm reaching for a purple disc, and it's not there. And so I'm like, okay, well, let me get something different. So I forget that I have the yellow Shark in my bag. I could go to it almost as much as I go to the Bard because it is a great, reliable disc. But like I said, I was used to reaching for the purple one, and the other purple discs in my bag are not mid-ranges.
That's fair. My last mid-range is a VIP Tersis. I got this one out of the Queen box, I believe. It's wonderful, understable mid-range. Throw it flat, keep it, and then
It's a cool
finish
stamp.
right. It is a really cool stamp.
Octopus.
Yeah, it's an octopus. Well, that's the Tersis. I have another one I just got from a friend, Selwyn. He played the Trilogy Challenge this year and got a VIP Ice Tersis. Doesn't like it. I haven't thrown it yet, but I am really excited to see what that one does.
So that rounds out our mid-ranges?
No, that's a mid-range.
This is a mid-range?
That's a mid-range. Yep,
Decent.
absolutely.
I wasn't sure if it was a mid-range or a fairway driver.
No.
It's mid-range. This is my Pro Cobra, or
V Cobra.
my V Cobra. I love this disc. I stole it from him.
You can have it.
It's a little heavier than I typically like to throw. This is 179, and I usually try to keep it below 170 for most of my discs. But I just really like the way this flies. It's a really soft, like it says 179. We actually weighed our discs, so like I know that it's 179, but it doesn't feel 179 in your hand. And I really like it. First of all, it's got a really cool stamp. It's the Cobra. But secondly, it flies pretty straight, and I just like how it feels in my hands. That's my last one.
That's it for the mid-ranges. We're going to start with the fairway drivers. You carry more than me, so before we do that, I'm going to give a quick in memoriam. Not that it's dead and gone, but it's been out of my bag for a few weeks, and it's my #1 fairway driver. And it's in safe hands. I will get it back. Vivian's a sweetheart. I know she's good for it. That is my glitter hatchet, which also came out of the West Side Queen box. It's beautiful. It has a nice right turn and finish left. It's my money disc. I make a lot of my plays with that one, and I will get it back. But in its absence, I have learned how to throw some of my other discs because, oh man, I don't have the hatchet. We got to figure something out.
So starting off on my fairway drivers, I have my relay, which is
My relay.
we both have the relay. This mine's in 155 grams, so it's super light. I absolutely love it. This is
160.
my PDGA membership disc from when I joined the PDGA, and he kept seeing me throw this, and he was like, "Man, I really want to get my hands on that. I really want to get my hands on that." And so
She wouldn't
finally,
do it.
I let him throw it, and he threw it a couple times, and then he almost lost it. And so I was like, "That's it, because I'm not letting you lose this disc." So he got his own. Me again.
I mean, I jumped in on your relay.
The next one I really like is the Crave.
Next one I really like is no, I'm just kidding.
He does not bag the Crave. This was the first disc that I really chose for myself. A lot of the time when I was first starting out, he would say, you know, this would be good for you, this would be good for you, this would be good for you. I researched the Crave. I picked it out. It's really pretty. I don't know if you can see. It's like this blue and green with a gray outline. But that's not why I picked it. I researched it. I think it's good for my style of play. It's a 6.5 speed, which is not super fast, but it is super reliable, and I love this disc. And I have proselytized this disc to many people, and some of those people now bag a Crave.
Well, and that's a disc that you can get up to speed with your arm speed. The next one I have is an Opto SPZ3, also known as the Superhero. I also used to bag the gold Opto SPZ3 Superhero. It was a yellow one. It was really pretty. I had painted it to look like Pac-Man. I threw rollers with it. It was Pac-Man rolling down the fairway. Everybody loved it. Then I threw it in the middle of Freeman Lake. This one I have done in the yin and yang. Looks very cool when it's flying. It's a 9-speed, I believe, but I can snap it pretty much as hard as I want in any way that I want, and it'll keep its turn. It'll hyzer flip up. It's a great go-to for me.
Okay, so this one.
Happy birthday
This
to
was my
you.
birthday gift from my dear husband for my birthday in October this year.
Can I introduce it?
Yes.
For her birthday this year, she got the Lux Vapor Simon Lizotte Full Tilt Creator Series. I timed it perfectly. I got online. I got in line, and we got one.
Yes, ladies, you heard that right. I get discs for my birthday.
And
You
a
can be
spoiled
jealous.
woman you
I honestly, I do bag this disc. I put it in my bag almost immediately after he got it for me, but I haven't thrown it yet just because I have recently a lot of the courses I'm playing have been pretty wooded, tight courses, and when I throw a disc for the first time, I want to have sort of more of an open situation going on so that I
Get to
can
see what it
figure out
does.
what it's
Yeah.
going to do. So I really haven't been in a situation to throw that yet, but here it is, and I'm hoping to throw it soon.
All right, so next is probably my second most reliable fairway driver. That is the Opto River. Very similar to the Hatchet. It's got a little bit of turn on it, but with that 7 glide, man, I can get this thing to ride that line for a long, long time.
Last but certainly not least is my Binks, which I think we did a whole video. Yeah, this is what it does. We did a whole video about the unboxing of the Binks, so you can go and find that. But we've both thrown it at this point. I really liked it when we threw it at Iroquois Park last week. There's certain where you're on top of the hill, but it just falls down to either side.
Fairly
It's a
steep.
very narrow fairway with very steep downhills on the side.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a thin, long hole.
And
very
I
steep
hate that
action.
hole, But I threw the Binks on the hole, and it did sort of come off the fairway, which was just me because I threw it poorly. But it stuck. It didn't roll down the hill, which everybody else was climbing down the hill to go get their disc that
Yeah.
missed the fairway, and I was just sort of almost to the top. We just grabbed my Binks and threw it back up onto the fairway and was done with it. So I really love my Binks.
My last disc is, you cannot see because it is all long gone and worn off, is a limited edition Lucid Renegade in pearl white. This is my go-to thrower. 90% of the time on the tee pad, I'm throwing this. Yeah, okay, so then I'm going to talk about high-speed drivers. I have, my first one is a Trespass. It's baseline plastic. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it is in the Severn Lang Memorial stamp. I got this a few years ago. I was a spotter during the Severn Lang Memorial. Not a bad gig. Got a little cooler with a couple bottles of water, camp chair in the shade, and a really cool spot to see some killer forehands come bombing in over me and hyzering down the hill to the basket. But yeah, this is quickly becoming a forehand disc. It's overstable enough. I can trust it, and I can get it as long as I don't make that stupid old baseball mistake of turning my wrist over, which seems to be my problem. Then this becomes a heck of a bomber for me on forehands.
I'm going to talk about my Diamond really quickly. This is my absolute favorite driver that I drive. I drive with this literally every single time I play a course. I drive with this. I would say at least half the holes. It's just my favorite. It's my go-to. It does a perfect S every time. It's so predictable, and it's light, and it feels good in my hands, and it's just my absolute favorite.
Yeah. Next, I have a upgraded version of an older disc. Birthday present that I got this year from our friend Emily is a VIP plastic Westside World. It is a 14.4 -5.3. So I don't have the arm speed for a 14, but I get pretty darn close. So what I end up with is a disc that can go 250, 275 pretty reliably and make a killer left-handed hook at the end. I can turn some corners pretty drastically on a pretty set angle and get a decent skip at the end almost every time with this disc.
I bag a Paige Pierce Undertaker. It is the first understable disc that I bagged, and it's just barely understable. It's a -1, but it's a 9-speed, and this was my first one that I would use to try to get myself out of trouble. And I remember when I bought this, he told me, you have no business throwing that. And it was true at the time. It was absolutely true.
Yeah.
I had no business throwing this at that time. But I have worked my way up towards it to where I can throw this pretty reliably.
Yeah.
And I do love the Undertaker, and so it's a great disc.
I believe when you bought that, I also bought one because we were in the shop at a course.
Yes.
And you were like, I'm going to get this. I'm like, babe, I love you, and get the disc you want to get, but you should not be throwing this. You're like, yeah, I should. And I was like, well, you know what, just to show you, I'm going to get one, and I'm going to put everything I have into it. Because at the time, I, too, was only maxing out at like 7, 8, the occasional 9-speed disc. But with the -1, I was like, man, I don't have any business throwing this. You don't have it. You know what? We're all going to go out and throw new stuff today. That's what we're doing. It was a lot of fun. We played terribly. Had some good Amish candy at a random store in the middle of nowhere on the way home.
That drives me
Yeah. So, next one that I have is the upside down mirror double queen. I don't know what you call it. It was the premier disc in the Westside Queen box. I love it. I am still learning it. Once I figure out the angles on this thing, it is going to be game on. I currently have an 11 speed with a -2 that I've really started to understand the hyzer flip. I just got to correct my form to be able to throw this faster speed one to get that same effect. And that's when I think I'll really make a difference in my game with the distance driving.
I was just thinking, I don't think I've ever seen you throw that.
That's because the coloring of it, 1, and 2, I still don't
fair.
have a very good control of it, so I usually only use it in wide open holes where I can see where that thing's going to land,
Okay.
regardless of how bad I screw the throw up.
Okay. Well, lastly in my bag, and is a ballista. It is a
Pro.
14 speed, and this was given to me very recently by a friend. I had done some research and found that with my style of play, a ballista is a good disc to throw. This is a little fast for me. No, it's way too fast for me. But I did say, you know, I'd want to get my hands on one, and so thankfully my sweet husband put the feelers out in groups that he's in.
Yeah, I have a couple of local groups of friends. I play what some would say is way too much. I have, I think, 3 different games scheduled in the next 24 hours.
Anyway, a friend said, oh yeah, I have one I don't throw. She can absolutely have it. And I actually just asked him, I said, can you bring it to leagues and just let me throw it? And he showed up to leagues and was like, no, it's yours. So I haven't thrown it yet. Actually, every time I've played with him, he's asked me about it, and I keep telling him that I just haven't gotten the courage to throw it yet. Because I really don't have the arm for 14 speed, but I know the only way to get the arm for 14 speed is to throw a 14 speed sometimes. So, that's my bag.
Last disc I'm going to go to, I'm not really sure what it is. It feels like a mid-range. It's numbered like a mid-range. It flies like a distance driver. That is a VIP Air Westside Underworld. It is a 7.6 -3.1. Turnover shots, rollers. I love rollers. I cheat so many holes by throwing rollers with this thing. This is really turned into one of my go-tos. It's got a really sick stamp, bearded Viking head. My buddy Shelby gave me this a while back. Playing with him at 3 o'clock tomorrow. And yeah, it's one of my go-tos. If I got a shot that has to go right, I don't really have much beforehand, so we're going Anheuser with the Underworld. And so that rounds out my bag. That's both of our bags. That's everything we've got. Tell us what you think. What do you bag? Do you bag anything similar? What disc do you throw instead of something we've got? Let us know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you catch all of our new content.
Or do you have any recommendations based on what we have in our bag? Something that you think, oh, well, this will go along with that style of play. That, you know, I love getting new recommendations. The Diamond was literally just a recommendation, and it's my favorite disc now. So
Hit me with some weird brands. What do you got? My buddy next door just started throwing this Japanese brand I had never heard of, but man, to watch those things hit trees and take absolutely no damage is baffling. Like,
pretty cool, yeah.
let us know in the comments.
Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Peace.